If you've been paying attention in Muskegon as of late, you've seen all sorts of different signs. Sometimes the signs will talk about issues like privatization. And though that privatization is talking about something that's relevant to the school board, I think it's important to talk specifically about schools and education. The privatization process has come about because school districts are being faced with budget crunches. And oftentimes this puts people who are really on the same side facing off against one another. You have teachers and teachers' unions who fought for years to have good contracts with good benefits and good pay for some of the people who perform one of the most incredibly important services in all of our society, the education of our young people. And now they're pitted against school boards who are also there to guarantee our young people have the things they need, but also have to worry about building maintenance and textbooks and additional expenses. And so these two natural allies are being pitted against each other, all because of money. And in the end, who's losing? Support staff, janitors, custodians, secretarial people, who are seeing their jobs evaporate because it's cheaper to privatize them. Here is an economic issue that affects education. And so to understand how we look at the economic issue, first we have to talk about education. The money is gone. It's because the state tax pool has decreased. It's because we're suffering hard times. And if there's one issue we cannot afford to ignore, it's education. Education gives us the kind of people who will be part of our economy in the future. And we've all heard of folks, we've all had friends move out of the state of Michigan because they couldn't find jobs here. We've all seen our friends, sons, daughters, nieces, nephews graduate from school after achieving fantastic things and seek employment in other states. All of this starts looking more and more like Michigan's in a downward spiral, but it doesn't have to be that way. And it doesn't have to be that way because we can change things. So let's start from the very, very beginning, because that's where education starts, in the beginning. Anyone who's ever played with a laser pointer or shot a gun knows that little changes at the very, very beginning can have a huge difference in the trajectory of something overall. And that's why we have to focus on early childhood development and programs that allow us to influence the lives and the minds of children immediately. Muskegon's got a lot of great things going on, things like the Great Start Collaborative. But we need to make sure that these individuals have the resources they need and make sure that the community knows about those things to move forward. And those are things that I'm going to prioritize if I'm elected to the Michigan House of Representatives. Second, we have to look at our K-12 education scheme, and we have to understand that this needs to be all hands on deck. I'm putting forward what I call the P.E.A.C.E plan. And P.E.A.C.E stands for parents, educators, administrators, community members, and elected officials. P.E.A.C.E. Because every single one of those individuals has a vested role in our educational system. And only when we get all of them working together, pulling in the same direction, will we see education gain the kind of traction it needs to make our young people successful in the future. Parents have to be able to send their children off to school knowing they're going to have the resources they need, but they also need to be there for their children when they come home from school and grant their own knowledge and experience to their child's educational process. Educators need incentives on a merit basis, not pay based on a merit basis, because sometimes students are troubled, because sometimes students need additional attention. But administrators, the next ones on our scheme, need to be able to address those concerns and give both educators and parents the information and the resources they need to educate our children. The community needs to stay involved, not only to help create a culture of support for our school systems, but to help re-emphasize the importance of education. Lastly, elected officials need to not only establish standards and make sure that the curriculums that are proposed by administrators and executed by educators meet standards that will move our state forward. They also need to make sure, again, that the resources and the tools are there for people at all different levels. That's what peace is. Parents, educators, administrators, community members, and elected officials. And that's my vision for K through 12 education. But as we all know, 12th grade isn't the last grade. College is important. And educational access to college through things like Muskegon Opportunity and through things like the Michigan Promise Zone scholarships are incredible avenues for young people who succeed in high school to then succeed in college. We all know that most of our young people have incredible potential, and education is the way in which we will tap that potential. Once that potential is achieved, they become people in our community. They are the leaders of the next generation. They are the entrepreneurs of tomorrow. And once they have the tools they need to succeed, once their children have the tools they need to succeed, we will see Michigan succeed, not just now and not just tomorrow, but well into the future. That is the role education plays. It is the currency with which we will buy prosperity, now and hopefully forever. That's why education is so important to me. That is why, outside of politics, my career choice was to become an educator, to use my talents to shape young minds. Well, now I want to use my talents to shape the laws that will allow us all to succeed and move us all towards a brighter day. That's why I'm asking for your vote on August 3rd. And that's why I'd like you to go to my website, www.davidtakitaki.com, and learn more about my education plan and some of the things that I want to do for the 92nd District. Thank you for your time, and thanks for watching.